Hi, this is Carl Palachuk, and this is another SOP video for managed service providers. Today I want to talk about what is your budget for fixing stuff. Here's what I mean. Here's a fun little book by Coleman Cox called Quote Me on This, and it's full of little bitty tidbits of wisdom. And one of my favorites is he says, hey, you know what? You want to demonstrate to your boss that you're good with budgets? Start with your expense account. I like that advice because it goes back to the days when people actually had expense accounts. So I think it's very important when you delegate authority to your technicians or to your administrative assistants or front office manager or anybody else that you give them a certain amount of spending authority. Here's what I mean. Let's say that a technician's out in the field and somebody needs some little thing. What are they authorized to deploy to the client automatically without asking permission? So that might be, depending on what they have in their scary box, a video card, a network card, maybe, cables, something like that. Basically, you can say, look, even if you have to run to the store and get something, if it's under X, whatever, $50, $100, just do it. Now, of course, you're going to invoice the client, and of course, you're going to have that conversation, and you may have a client who says, hey, I didn't ask for this cable, I'm not going to pay this $18. Fine, whatever, you got to deal with that. Do that with processes and procedures, but do not punish the technician for solving the problem, right? You need to build the relationship with the client on one hand, but you need to make sure that the technician knows that they are absolutely authorized to make things work. That's their job. So figure out what is an appropriate budget. Now, I mentioned technicians, administrative assistants, office managers, your service managers, so forth. There's lots of different people. They don't all have the same budget, right? The office manager may be authorized to spend several $100s, where an entry-level tech may be authorized to spend $50. So you need to determine what is an appropriate amount, and you need to make sure that if somebody does something that you would not have done, that you use it as an educational moment. So don't say, you are a moron. Instead say, there's a better way to do this, or you should have done that, or whatever, or next time really think about whether or not you needed to replace this because it turned out it wasn't the problem, right? And so basically you have to train your technicians that it's okay. Never chastise them for spending the money because you authorize them to do so, but do use it as an educational opportunity to say, here's when we go down the road towards either physical devices or new software or whatever. So very few people on your staff will have very large budgets, right? Like very few people will be able to authorize up to, let's say, $1,000 on the company credit card without asking your permission. But there might be somebody, your managers, your service manager, right? There may be people who are authorized at that level. The key to success is learn to authorize, learn to delegate the authority and the spending that goes with it. It's a tiny little thing that will hardly ever get used, but it goes a long ways for technicians to understand that you trust them and you understand that sometimes they have to go spend a little bit of money. Now, that is totally separate from going out and having a 9-martini lunch and putting it on the company credit card. That is a whole different video, which I may never do. For Small Biz Thoughts, this is Carl Palachuk, wishing you the best of luck in your managed service business. Please like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell so you can be notified when we post a new video.